The question is, what do you do when a hadith is in conflict with the Quran? What do you do? The answer is, you stay with the Quran. Is there anyone who wants to challenge that? You have enough time later on. You stay with the Quran. Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, and the hadith is Sahih Bukhari. You know it. And she says that Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam married me when I was 6. He married me when I was 6. I don't know about your part of the world, but in Trinidad, where Nasheed and I come from, when you marry a girl, you can take her home. Once you marry her, you can take her home. She's yours. And more than that, you can close the doors. You can close the windows. And if anyone wants to come inside of the home to take a look, you can tell them, get out. There's private property here. So you can marry a 6-year-old girl and take her home. And close the door, and close the windows. The Prophet ﷺ married me when I was 6. And consummated the marriage when I was 9. I'm not particularly concerned with that part. I'm concerned with the marriage part. 6. Is this hadith in conformity with the Quran? Or is it in conflict with the Quran? If I marry a girl in Islam, she has a choice. I have to make a proposal of marriage, and she has to accept or reject, usually through her wali. And if she says no, you better go find somebody else, because she has the right to say no. And if she does not have the right to say no, if she has no choice, the marriage is invalid. The marriage is invalid. Good. If the Prophet ﷺ married her, the implication is that you have a nikah. And in order for a nikah to take place, she must have choice to say yes or no. But when Allah has decreed a matter, you don't have choice. She had no choice. So how can you have a nikah with someone who has no choice? The communication from Allah is, she is your wife. Allah has already chosen her as your wife. Implicit in this statement is the marriage is already taking place through Allah. If she is already divinely married to you, how can you have a marriage ceremony here? Once Allah has married you to her, there is no marriage ceremony here. So there is a deficiency of language here. Instead of saying, he married me when I was 6, it should have said, Allah married us. Not he married me, Allah married us. Okay? Once you notice this deficiency in language, that it should have been Allah married us, not he married me, you now are alerted to this hadith. Now, marriage means that you have lawful sexual relations. Once you're married, you have lawful sexual relations. Is it permissible to have lawful sexual relations with a girl when she is 6? When she has not as yet reached the age of puberty? when she is not as yet become a woman. Is it permissible for us to have sexual relations with a girl before she's become a woman? Is that permissible, yes or no? If you say yes, you're going to have to give us proof from Allah's book. I have avoided in my public lectures this part of the subject, but since we are a small gathering today, I'll give you a verse of the Quran. Allah speaks in the Quran and says about your woman, excuse me, He says, نساؤكم حرث لكم. Your women are your fields that you plow. A farmer must plow the fields before he plants the seed. So your women are your fields, implicit in that, fields that you plow. فَأْتُوا حَرْثَكُمْ أَنَّا شِئْتُمْ. So go to your fields, plow your fields in any way or fashion you wish. The asbab tanzeel of this ayah of the Quran is that Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu had sexual relations with his wife, but not in the missionary form, from on the back. And the Jews declared that if the baby is born, it's going to be squint-eye. And the matter came before the Prophet ﷺ. And this revelation came down to belie that wrong notion that the Jews had. No, you're entitled to have sexual relations in any pose, in any form, provided that it is a field that is being plowed. Okay? The field becomes a field only when a seed can be planted, and if Allah allows germination, it can germinate. Only then can it be called a field. Can a 6-year-old girl be considered to be a field? That if you plant a seed, the possibility exists that it can fertilize and grow? Answer? No, of course not. Of course not. And so I have come to the conclusion, if others differ with me, they have the right to do so, but they must do it publicly, not in privately. That it is not permissible in Islam to have sexual relations with a girl unless and until she has become a field, meaning she has reached the age of puberty. So that if you plant a seed, it has the chance of fertilizing and she can become pregnant. If you marry a girl before that and you're not allowed to have sexual relations with her, but you're allowed to take her home, are we going to have to install cameras in the home? Huh? To ensure you don't do anything with her? Doesn't make sense to me. I know that the Australian government has great concerns about Australian citizens who are pedophiles. I'm not bad talking Australia, I'm talking about the Australian government. If we say that women are allowed, you can marry a girl at age 6 in Islam, every Australian pedophile will want to become a Muslim. This is not ungracious language on my part. No. So no Australian should be annoyed with me because the Australian government has enacted legislation, I believe. We have some Australians here. Yeah. So have they enacted legislation? Yeah. I believe they have enacted legislation now that you can be you can be prosecuted in Australia. If you go to Indonesia, for example, and do such a thing, you come back home, they can prosecute you in Australia. And so I have come to the conclusion that this hadith is in conflict with the Quran. And so if a case comes before the Sharia court in Egypt, what should the Sharia court do? Here is an Egyptian couple with a 6-year-old daughter. And here's a man who is 55 years old, and choose a particularly ugly looking man. Not like Dr. Umar Zaid, his wife makes him look very handsome. My wife is also doing a good job, inshallah. So you choose an ugly looking 55-year-old, and you have CNN and Al Jazeera there to capture it. And the matter comes before the Egyptian Sharia court. What is the court to do? If you adopt the proper methodology, you would throw out the case, because this hadith is in conflict with the Quran. La yajuz. But if you adopt the wrong methodology, you will say, since the hadith says that Nabi Muhammad ﷺ married her when she was 6, the implication is that marriage with a girl at the age of 6 is permissible in Islam. And when that marriage takes place, and CNN and Al Jazeera capture it, it's going to be repeated over and over again on every television station in the world. And we're going to become the laughing stock of the world. I met with Dr. Muhammad Mahathir, the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, about maybe 2 months ago. And very strangely, he was very much interested in this subject. He spent most of the time with me talking on this subject. And when I said to him, Dr. Mahathir, we're going to become the laughing stock of the world, he said to me, we are already the laughing stock of the world. One more. Proper methodology and wrong methodology. Because this is crucial to the study of Akhir Zaman. That's why I stopped the bus, so you can get out and walk around a bit. The Quran sits in judgment over the hadith. Proper methodology. The hadith, even Sahih hadith, do not have the same status as the Quran. Proper methodology. If you do not hold on to this, you cannot handle Akhir Zaman. Because I'm warning you, they are fabricated ahadith, planted there. And you're going to step on a time bomb. So you need proper methodology to be able to handle Akhir Zaman.